And welcome into the Rowdy Studios. Tom Vandervoort with Stephen Levine talking risers and fallers.
I have not seen the list.
From the Sporting News Power Poll. We talked about Joey Logano yesterday. We talked about Dale Earnhardt Jr. yesterday. Let's talk a little bit about the points leader, Matt Kenseth, quietly now assumed the top spot in the standings.
Vintage Matt Kenseth. We call him the silent assassin. He's always there, sort of lurking. May not be flashy, may not be the most dynamic driver on the race course, but rest assured, he will be there contending for the championship at the end. Now, whether or not he can win some races during the chase remains to be seen. So I'm not sure that he's going to win the championship, but he'll certainly be in the mix.
Well, look, let's be clear. The system we have here doesn't require race wins for a championship.
It doesn't require
wait a second.
But it sure as hell helps.
Of course it always helps, but let's look at it this way.
Carl Edwards.
Carl Edwards tied in points in the chase with a guy who won half the chase races, okay? Winning. Tony Stewart won. He had to win half the chase races to win that championship. If he'd won 4 out of 10, he wouldn't have won the title, right? So this system is set up for Matt Kenseth. Matt Kenseth was in the mix last year. Only when he was very uncharacteristic at Martinsville and lost his cool did he take himself out of the mix. Number 2, you have to love the pairing with Jimmy Fennig.
I do love the pairing.
Working. They're both from Wisconsin. Jimmy's very old school. I think this all sets up very well for Matt
Has there been a champion in the chase era who has won it without winning a chase race?
No, there has not.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm telling you, the system is perfect for Matt Kenseth. I don't think you got to win in the chase. On the faller's side, Kyle Busch.
Yeah, Kyle Busch, man.
12th in the points.
2 blown engines in a row, falls 3 spots to 12th. I'm not worried about Kyle Busch. I think Kyle Busch will get into the chase via the top 10 in points unless that team bobbles again. Now they're not in a position to be able to absorb bad luck, to be able to absorb mistakes.
We call it the margin for error, right? And I'm not worried about Kyle Busch, the driver. I'm not really worried about his decision making, but there are things that are out of your control. And engine troubles that's not the phrase you want to hear if you're Joe Gibbs Racing. That is not what you want to hear.
Though you've heard it many times.
And that's why you don't want to hear it anymore.
Right.
So I think for Kyle Busch, the margin for error, it may not be completely gone. He could probably afford another bad finish, maybe even 2, just based on his driving talent. But beyond that, he's really in a danger zone. So you got to be very careful if you're Kyle Busch.
Well, and here's the other thing. Remember, if he has to fall back on a wild card berth into the chase, he doesn't get the 10 bonus points for wins. And based on his history in the chase, he needs all the help he can get once it starts.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Kyle. Again, I'm not panicking for him. How about A.J. Allmendinger, though? Perhaps the most disappointing driver on the season.
I'm certainly not going to blame AJ. He's had lots of bad luck this season, and we have to remember he's transitioning to a new team, new crew chief, new corporate culture, and Penske has a pretty buttoned-down corporate culture, especially compared to Red Bull or Richard Petty Motorsports. So there was going to be a
buttoned down or buttoned up?
Well, it depends. I think you could go either way
both.
on that.
Maybe both.
So I think there was going to be a transition, a period of adjustment for AJ. Couple that with some of the bad luck he's had, and we've seen some glimpses. We've seen some flashes.
As we have throughout his entire career. He's shown such great resilience. I'm a great admirer of his resilience.
I like his hair.
That's nice too. I think that the question though is, at what point does he stop getting opportunities? At what point do you say, well, we saw flashes, but we've never seen the payoff? I think he's got a grace period here just based on how this has all happened, and as you say, his first year with Penske. But at some point, you have to put together some consistent runs, make some noise, and show more than flashes. And A.J. Allmendinger is kind of at that point now.
I think he's going to get another season with Penske, though. I don't think they're going to write him off after just one season. So I think he'll have 2013 to prove his mettle. But yes, he does need to step up over the course of the next 18 months.
All right, that's our look at one of the risers, 2 of the fallers. For Stephen Levine, I'm Tom Vandervoort. We'll see you next time.